Look, there's room for both of us. Yeah, there you go. Just settling in. Isn't that nice when we can hang out together? No motives. I'm not forcing him to stay down with my hand. He hates sharing chairs. Bye. What are we doing today? I wanted to give a rundown of my lawn philosophy, my grass philosophy. It's pretty anti-grass. I don't hate grass. There are segments of grass in my yard, but for the most part I don't have any, which is kind of sad. Obviously there are things about just a nice big grass lawn that triggers this romantic suburban American upbringing in me. And I have a dog, so having to walk to a space that has a large open grass patch to play fetch is, I guess it's an inconvenience. It's not, because we still go on a walk. It's, something that needed to happen anyway. But in my yard, because of the layout, because of the animal interference, I have been selected to not have grass anymore. And I think it's fine. I think for a lot of people it's doable. And I don't have to mow. So that's pretty big on my list. I don't hate mowing the lawn, but I'm glad not to do it so much anymore. When we had an electric mower, it was all right, but the lifespan on that was not very good. And switched to gas and having to go get gas all the time. Not great. So I have other methods for maintaining the greenery in our space. I weed eat back here when it seems necessary. I haven't done it yet this year. Things get tall, but the area can be navigated without issue, and I think it looks really unique. There's plenty of golf course lovers that would think this is not attractive, but I think it's very interesting. I think it adds a lot of dynamic, it casts a lot of shadow, there's so much texture, and it's just been put here. I did nothing for this. Some grass seed has sprouted that I've attempted to spread over the last few years. Oh, Bucky's kind of scared. I gotta let him in. There's a moving truck. I'll let you in, buddy. There you go. It's okay, those are birds. Yeah. Back, sorry. Cat got scared of the moving truck. Maybe I should wait as well. So, yeah, it's quite loud. I can hear people mowing, even through the moving truck. I don't like being that inconvenienced either. 10 a.m. on Monday morning, the landscaping crews come out at the apartments near me, and it becomes the whole day just gas blowers, mowers, weed eating. I don't want to be the disturbance for other people. I mean, I use a weed eater that is not very high powered, but I can get through it pretty fast, especially when I'm just doing segments. There's still the easement by the sidewalk, which is full grass, and I do that by hand with the weed eater. I got one of those manual rotary mowers. $25 seemed like a great deal to never have to buy gas for our mower again. It does not work for our grass at all. It definitely wouldn't work for weed calico. We'll just wait for the truck. All right, so the drawbacks of not having conventional grass, not as dog friendly for playing, probably wouldn't be kid friendly. I don't know. I don't have experience with that, but me as a kid would have loved this woodland natural feel. What other drawback? It doesn't impress other people. Oh no, my yard. I'm not in an HOA, so I'm not looking to appease the grass-pilled people, the golf course mindset. Basically, zero-ish maintenance other than If I feel this is too tall, I could hit it with a weed eater, but I don't water anything here. I don't pull weeds anywhere. Okay, I do pull weeds. There are some problem ones that I will manicure. Don't want thistle. Nothing spiky. There's plenty of dandelions, so if I see one in a don't need it here spot, I'll pull it. Other than that, I've identified basically all of these, and I'm fine with them. And if they start growing into the mulch, cool. I'd like to have less mulch. So if this could spread, it stays short depending on how much it's tread on, so it kind of maintains its own, it regulates its height. You can tell where we spend the most time walking just based on the height difference in these pockets. So, is a weed garden right for you? Do you want a lot of paths? Because if your yard is 80% path, like mine, I can't say 80, might as well go for it. And you can start adding things in later. Basically, this is placeholder, keeps the soil nice. I really hope you can hear me over that lovely, lovely tool. Oh. Plus sides. Low maintenance. Unobtrusive to your neighbors. I mean, those people live in apartments. They didn't choose to have the landscaper come over at 10 a.m. on Monday morning and spend 4 hours there, but I don't know if it's even worth waiting. It's just going to get windier later, so I'm battling ambient noise in any regard. Some nice scraping going too. Pros of the weed yard. Unobtrusive to your neighbors. Drought tolerant. This stuff gets intense sun. We've had a good bit of rain within the last week, but up until that we had almost none, and I think things look healthy and green and lush and inviting. And if I had grass, I don't know if it'd look that good. So, well, the grass pockets actually do look pretty good, so I can't say no. I think it adds texture. I think it's unique. I think it's natural looking, but in a somewhat thought out way, because it lines a path. It does look intentional even though it wasn't. It keeps the soil healthy, and I can pull stuff out to put in a new plant anytime I feel like, and I'll know that I'm not just tearing into cakey, clay, cracked, dry earth. It's a delicate soil because something lives in it full time. It's a constant placeholder maintaining soil health. If things start to get crowded out, it's not hard to pull a weed, so I choose to do it when the time comes, rather than dedicating an evening to just going around and pulling every undesirable from the space so it can sit empty until I decide what I put there. Is a waste of time and affects the whole vibe of the garden. I don't want to look at bare dirt ever. There's a bare dirt patch here that I've been trying to figure out what I need to do with it because it's not conducive to soil health. So, to me, the drawbacks are irrelevant. The ease of use and effect on the dirt is what keeps me growing the weed garden. I think the calico of texture and color and flowers it's a bonus for me. It's a bonus for pollinators. It's a bonus for the bunny that lives here. There's so many little hiding spots for a baby bunny that they wouldn't have with grass. This keeps wildlife wild. I can create a habitat for the things that I live around while still appeasing my needs as a gardener. So, no brainer. Any bit of hospitality I can extend to the outdoors, I'd much rather have that over grass. So what do I have growing in my weed garden? Purple dead nettle, some wild geranium thing. I've got henbit. I've got dandelion. Got dock. I've got thistle, which has to be removed. I've got wild onion. Not so much back here. It's overtaking the front yard, and it used to be really, really heavy back here, but I've been kind of planting stuff in its place instead. I've got clover. I tried to go through and identify everything I could find. There's some that I would definitely consider undesirable. This is one of them. For a while I thought it was parsley. This stuff, definitely not parsley. It does look like a carrot. Oh, I have nightshade that pops up and I pull that immediately. Got a better example right here. Oh, I pull it. I don't want it. It looks cute. It looks like something delicious, and I imagine it's poison. What else do I have? Henbit. This beautiful thing, I think it's vetch. Some sort of vetch. The dandelions. These patches of grass. Some are ornamental grasses I've actually planted. So this can stay. I like it. There's not enough that it's like taking over everything. I think it's pretty magical looking. The clover is flowering currently. I grow clover in my beds too, like a ornamental clover. You know, this stuff, it's like a spiky dandelion. I don't know. I pull it. It's not like high priority to me, but I'll just drop it. This is the geranium thing. I just think they're cute. I do have quite a bit of henbit. I just placeholder. I don't mind. Don't know what this is. I couldn't tell if this was a flower or not. So that's just on standby until I identify it. So you can see I get little patches of things in the mulch. There's so much volume. And I love the rounded, domey shapes. I remember this yard when it had just grass. It still had the pond, and this area was carved in with a hard line kind of bed divider. It didn't look bad. But given the choice, I don't want to do the work to keep up with it. So this, if this is vetch, does really well over here. And I'll probably pull some of it eventually. I've been busy. Gardeners don't have time to pull weeds. I also don't have time to fix my fence. so that just sits there until that happens. Windflower. I don't consider a weed, but it has spread. Is that the windflower? There's some around here. I'm trialing this spot for this. I don't think it's gonna stay. I think I'm moving it to the front yard. It does look nice here though. Bee balm. Would we consider this a weed if it's intentionally planted and relocated every time it spreads? Here's another one of these. Look at that. That's healthy soil. That's how you know. It's a little wet, but even if it wasn't, I think I could get a good pull on it. So this thing, I remove these. This sticky stuff, I've been leaving it. You can eat it, I guess. I'm not. This is dog poop zone, so anything on the ground here does not get consumed. Which is where the weeds started to get the worst. Worst. The strongest, most powerful. So all of my raised beds are framed in weeds, which I enjoy. I feel like it keeps the heat off of the sides, so in turn maybe providing a little insulation for the soil inside the bed. I don't know how significant an impact that would make, but I do like how it looks. If it gets so tall that it's growing in, it's an easy solution to just pull it out. Does anybody else just have this all the time? Just things sitting in the way that you'll do something with. Oh yeah, is this chickweed? Henbit, geraniums. I just think it looks great, the dandelions. It doesn't stress me out at all. If you're the type that gets a red alert mentality when you see weeds, this is definitely not the method for you. But for us, works pretty well. It's good to practice letting things go. I'm the absolute perfectionist, and this is just one of those trade-offs that I'm willing to accept. It lightens my load and it makes me happy. There's the tour of my weed yard. If this offends you, I get it. It's okay. It's not for everybody. There's a bee circling right now. I know it's not for everybody. It works great for me. It's fine for my dog, and it's, I think, better for everything else that lives here. So I don't see myself ever planting grass again. To me, the cons of traditional grass lawn outweigh the benefits of my calico weed patch. We'll see. I mean, something might not work out with this, but we're trucking right now. It seems fine for me. You know, maybe allowing a blanket of weeds to overtake your backyard doesn't sound like a great idea in theory, but to me, eliminating weeds is not all that difficult. So I'm willing to take the chance. If I have to throw down some cardboard and mulch on top of things that become problem areas, I'm willing to do that, and it's still less work than pulling weeds all the time. I already have to pull weeds, so I'm not gonna wage a war against things that don't offend me. Anyway, just my thoughts. Everybody's different. Everybody's garden grows differently. This is what works for me, and I'm glad I could share it with you. perhaps you'll be inspired to allow a little bit of overgrowth. Maybe it will allow you to embrace the imperfections that come with something that is truly operating in its natural way. Like maybe in a small way. There is a balance. I have a extremely manicured space in other ways, and this is just the variable that I'm willing to let be up to nature for the most part. Anyway, glad I could share it. Interested in your thoughts. If you're disgusted by this, I'd like to know. If you're into it, stick around. I'll keep doing stuff. I'll be here. Anyway, thanks so much. I'll catch you next time.